The cabin air was thin and dry, and Talia Henderson could already feel it tightening in her chest the moment she stepped onto the plane. She hated flying for this exact reason. Her asthma always flared up in cramped, recirculated air. Still, she was in good spirits, clutching the brochure from Stanford University, the college she had just toured with her father, Marcus. This was supposed to be a celebratory trip home, not a battleground. As passengers settled in, Talia reached into her carry-on to retrieve her inhaler just to keep it nearby in case of emergency. But before she could put it in her hoodie pocket, a flight attendant, a stern woman with sharp eyes and a tighter bun, passed by and gave her a suspicious look. Miss, what is that? The woman asked, her tone already accusatory. Talia held up the small device. It's my inhaler. I have asthma. I always keep it close when I fly. The flight attendant frowned and snatched it from her hand without warning. That's not allowed out during takeoff. It could be a vape or something else. We've had issues before. Talia blinked in disbelief. Ma'am, that's my medicine. I need it. I have a prescription. But the woman was already walking down the aisle, holding the inhaler like it was contraband. Talia looked toward her father, seated a row behind her, who was still getting his laptop bag stowed. Her voice trembled as she turned back. Please, you can check my bag. I have my prescription paper in there. I need it. Other passengers turned their heads, watching the interaction with unease but saying nothing. The flight attendant waved her off dismissively. You'll get it back after takeoff. Calm down. But calm was the last thing Talia felt. The stress was already triggering her chest to constrict. She began coughing lightly at first, but it quickly escalated into the kind of wheeze she recognized all too well. She pressed the call button frantically. Her breaths became shorter, more panicked. Marcus noticed instantly. He rushed from his seat and crouched by her. Talia, where's your inhaler? They took it. She thought it was a vape. I told her, Talia rasped, her eyes wide with fear. Marcus's calm demeanor cracked in an instant. He stood and marched down the aisle, ignoring the seatbelt sign and the murmurs of passengers. The flight attendant appeared again, irritated. Sir, you need to sit down. We're preparing for takeoff. Marcus stared at her with steel in his eyes. Where's my daughter's inhaler? I told her it can't be out during takeoff. It's a security policy. She get it back after she has asthma. Marcus cut her off. She is actively having an asthma attack right now because of you. Give it to me, now. She be fine, the woman said, clearly out of her depth. It's just anxiety. She can breathe. No, she can't. He roared, making half the plane jump. She's 17. She's having a full-blown attack, and if anything happens to her, every person on this plane will witness a lawsuit that'll make national headlines. Another attendant tried to intervene, speaking in hushed tones. Sir, please lower your voice. No, Marcus said, raising his voice even higher. Captain, I want the flight grounded. This flight does not take off until my daughter gets her medication. The entire cabin froze. The pilot's voice crackled over the intercom, trying to calm the situation. But Marcus wasn't done. My daughter's life is at risk. She is not just a passenger, she is my child. And if you think this plane is going anywhere while she's gasping for air, you've lost your minds. Meanwhile, Talia was gasping harder, curled up in her seat. A kind passenger across the aisle stood up and yelled, She needs help now. Another started filming the scene. A second attendant quickly rushed down with the inhaler, whether from guilt or fear of backlash was unclear. Marcus grabbed it, returned to Talia, and helped her administer it. Within moments, her breathing began to stabilize, though tears were streaming down her cheeks. Marcus knelt beside her, holding her hand, his own breathing heavy now. You're okay, baby. I've got you. You're safe. The pilot made the call to delay departure. Paramedics were requested on board. The cabin buzzed with whispers, phones recording. Eyes darting between the attendants and the now recovering girl. When the paramedics arrived, They confirmed it had been a serious attack and that without the inhaler things could have gone very badly. Talia was given oxygen and cleared after about 10 minutes of supervision. But Marcus was far from finished. He asked to speak to the captain and a supervisor. This was racial profiling, negligence, and assault, he said calmly but firmly. I will not allow this to be brushed under the rug. Other passengers nodded. One even said aloud, I saw the whole thing. She told her it was her inhaler. She was ignored. Another woman stood up and added, I've flown with my child's EpiPen visible before. No one's ever snatched it away. Why her? With mounting pressure, the flight was delayed further. Marcus demanded that the offending flight attendant be removed from duty on that flight. When she tried to apologize half-heartedly, he said, You don't get to apologize after you gambled with my daughter's life. Eventually, airline staff complied. She was replaced, and Talia and Marcus were moved to first class. Though Marcus made it clear this wasn't about perks, it was about accountability. The flight finally took off 2 hours later, but the story didn't end there. By the time they landed, videos of the incident were already circulating online. Within 24 hours, the footage had gone viral. News outlets picked it up. Social media users exploded with outrage. Hashtags like #TALIasBreath and #FlyingWhileBlack trended globally. Civil rights attorneys reached out. Even a former Surgeon General tweeted, A child's medicine is not a weapon. It should never be taken from them ever. The airline issued a public apology and announced a full investigation. But Marcus knew what mattered more. He had protected his daughter. He had refused to let her suffer in silence. And as they sat together in the taxi on the way home, Talia whispered, her voice hoarse but strong, Thank you for standing up for me, Dad. He squeezed her hand, eyes focused ahead. Always.